What role can hip hop play in decolonizing the classroom?
So I can speak to what I've watched because I'm not a hip hop practitioner, but I've seen some amazing work in school spaces from people who are of the tradition.
Hmm.
Um, I think what I've noticed, oh, it's so problematic with music ed, is you still see teachers treat hip hop as if it's not real music
Okay.
or treat it as if it's only music and not a culture.
Okay.
And there are so many things about the culture of hip hop that are, like counter narrative and subversive, and just like really these really powerful things that if you can make space to let them in and bring in actual culture bearers within those traditions or connect to that,
Yeah.
like they're gonna do what they do. Again, not a practitioner, just like have enjoyed hip hop in my life. But I've watched people do this work, and that is a common strand, is having the understanding that like hip hop isn't just a record label musical genre. There's an entire culture, and there are pieces of that culture that are incredibly valuable. Again, Dr. Bettina Love does hip hop pedagogy, and it's not the teaching of hip hop, it's the incorporation of the culture of hip hop to teaching practices and the benefit that that can have.
Okay.
Um, and so for me, it's that space. It's just like bringing it in a as an entire culture that is to be learned about and from. Sometimes we see it brought in as like we'll do hip hop so they can learn rhythms, and then they know rhythms and they do the real music.
Mm,
But it has to be given its own spaces,
right.
a
Right.
culture and form of expression.
Right. Not as just a stepping stone to something better or something.
Hmm.
And I mean, if nothing else, it's like it's such a quick and immediate way to connect with students because, kids these days almost all across the board like hip hop or they have some rap song they've heard on the radio that they like or something. So it's
So
good.
much in pop culture now,
Yeah.
yeah. And if you know that connects with your students, do that. But then, on the other hand, I teach undergrads, and I had a some reflection on an assignment, and a student was like, I could share this with students, but you know, I think most kids this age will be into it. They said like pop and hip hop, and I was like, I mean, you might be surprised. Just be willing to listen to and know that you might have a student. Gosh, some of the things my students are brought in that they're into, it might be something I would have never thought that I have in common with them, or something completely new that I now
Mm,
have like new knowledge of because that student introduced it to me.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't really know what very young people know. We don't really give them space to share their own knowledge. We just feel like we are filling them up with things they don't have,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
bring things.
Yeah, absolutely.